Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PWL, and it is finally here. It's the postseason for 2024, and wow, do we have a good first round of games. It's the Cutthroats, it's the Lefties, and then on the eastern side, it's the Bandits, it's the Archers. Today, we tune in for the first wild card game of 2022 and an exciting matchup between the 6th and 5 seed of the postseason. It's the Lefties, it's the Cutthroats. It's the 2 versus 3 seed in the West. The Cats dominated all season. And then you have the Spitfire startup of Hudson Tonoff and the late addition of Crew Curra, who are arguably the best team in wiffle ball at this moment, the hottest team in wiffle ball. And then you have the surprise pick and Fisher Mills, who just barely squeaked in by 1 run differential against the Ponchos and are the 6th seed overall in the playoffs as it goes Cats, Cubnals, Bandits, Archers, Lefties, and then the Cutthroats. So we do have the 2 bottom seeds playing against each other here in this first wildcard game, but I wouldn't count this out as a bad game. For starters, you have the 1-2 punch in Hudson and Crew for the Lightning Lefties, who are arguably the hottest team in wiffle ball. 3-1 entering these playoffs. Hudson Tonoff has been the heart of this lefty lineup and absolutely dominant, beating Keegan Nance, the Cubnals and Reese Woolwine, and the Bandits, 3 of the best teams in the league, and just losing to Keegan their first time. So this is a team to watch out for. They are very capable of winning this game and moving on to the WDCS for the first time in team history. And we'll have to see how they do because they do have home field advantage. On the flip side, you have Fisher Mills, who frankly has been non-existent since April. 1-3, the worst record headed into these playoffs. And his last win was opening day of March 19th. And his last game was April 17th. So near 5-6 months since he's even played or swung a wiffle ball bat. And so I don't know what we will see from him today. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes him a while to get into a groove. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Lefties run away with this one to win the WDCS. But Fisher Mills is a crafty player. He is a 3-year veteran, and he is a 2-time WDCS finalist. Never passed Keegan Nance in that. But we might just see, who knows, we might just see a slip into the WDCS by the Cutthroats today. You can never be sure with this game. But here we go. Without further ado, the Western Division Wildcard game starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Cutthroats, it's the Lefties, and we do have a non-normal face. We have the appearance of Emmett out there in the Lefties, brought over today. See if he can win. Reese will be fielding for the Cutthroats in this one, as he will face Crew, Huddy, and Emmett. And the first pitch of the 2024 playoffs, and the first pitch Fisher has seen in 5 months, is swung on and missed for strike 1 by Crew. A really good appearance and a really good Lefties team in this game is gonna be good. Winner go home matchup for these 2 teams. 2-2 pitch to Fisher. He pops it up to Huddy, who falls, and Fisher Mills, after not seeing a plate appearance for 6 months, has a leadoff single off of the error by Hudson Tonoff. Wow, Fisher Mills seeing the ball well, and I am honestly surprised at how well he is swinging the bat. So he has a leadoff runner here in the wild card game. A missed fly ball by Hudson, running in on it, and he just can't make the play, and so Fisher's got a leadoff runner. Hudson in the pitch now. That's a ground ball to Huddy. who has no trouble with it. A shot and a throw to first to get the first out of this inning. Fisher Mills does move the runners up and does score the first run of this ball game. So it's 1-0 here in the top of the first. And who saw this out of Fisher Mills? Already a better start than we all have expected. So with the bases loaded, Mills steps in. 1 out, the pitch. That's on the ground to Crew, who tries to throw in. That's an error. Everybody's safe, and it's 4-0. It's 4-0 as Crew doesn't step on second base. He had an automatic out at 2, and he throws to 1 and misses. And the bases remain loaded for Fisher, who's up by 4 in the wild card game. Mental blunder by the lefties, and that's the second error in the ball game. And the bases are loaded. The 2-1 count to Mills, who is seeing the ball well. Who expected this out of him? That's on the ground to Emmett in right field, and he has no play with the speed, and it's 5-0 here in the top of the first. You've got to be kidding me. The lefty defense struggling here early, and they're after coming into the game with immense confidence, are now down by 5 with only 1 out, and the bases still remain loaded. What will Hudson do? The 3-1 count as expected. Ball 4, and oh my goodness, Fisher Mills comes out of nowhere and puts up a mercy cap for the inning. I don't think anybody saw this coming from Fisher Mills. After not playing in 6 months, comes up and puts a 6-0 spot against Hudson and the lefties here early. So we head into the bottom of the first. Lefties in some trouble. So a major surprise, but we do now get to see the first appearance of the game for the lefty Lightning at bat. You've got Crew leading off, Hudson hitting second, and the reserve Emmett playing in the third spot and in right. I'm not totally sure. But the first pitch to Crew is wide, and this might be something we have to watch too. Batting out of Fisher came from nowhere, but he also hasn't pitched in 6 months. As that's in there for strike 1, as he seems to be doing fine. And this is a huge surprise. You've got to be kidding me. Fisher Mills. As that's poked the other way and over the base. That'll be a leadoff base hit, as Crew does not go to second base, as he just squeaked that one fair. And so the lefties starting off well. They've also got a leadoff runner on first. And so we will see the first appearance of Hudson Tonoff in the playoffs, who's arguably one of the better hitters so far recent, as that is strike 1, blew it by him. The 2-2 pitch to Tonoff. Popped it up. Near second. Reese has it. Cruden tag. Cruden tag, and he'll be thrown out at first. And that's a double play here in the wild card game. Another blunder by the lefties. And just like that, there's 2 outs, nobody on. The first double play of the year. And all the luck is going to Fisher. You've got to be kidding me. A nice catch by Reese, and Crew did not tag. And that's the second out of the inning. And so the first 2 batters are retired just like that. Wow. Not an easy catch by Reese either. Kind of caught it off the corner. And so there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, just like that. And so the 1-2 count on Emmett. Got him! Looking! 3 up, 3 down for the Cutthroats! What are we witnessing here in September? Fisher Mills out of nowhere goes 3 up, 3 down, and we're headed into the top of the second. What are we witnessing? Still a lot of game left to be played, but we head into the top of the second. Lefties held scoreless. So 7-0, runners on the corners for Mills. That swings through strike one. And Mills seeing the ball well. And Hudson struggling on the mound. And this isn't looking good. That's on the ground. And it gets past Crew. And that'll be a double. And another run will score. It's 8-0 here in the top of the second. The 2-1 pitch. Mills with another hit, and he rolls past the line as 2 more come across to score. It's 11-0. Mills has blown this one open here in the second. It is 1 run away from having his second mercy of the game. Here it is, the 1-2 count. Hudson pitching well. Laced! And caught by Crew in the hat. And that is a really good play here in the top of the second inning. We'll replay this one. A nice grab by the hat with Crew to get the second out. And so they do have Mills on his second out of the inning. But the bases remain loaded as he's up 11-0 here in the top of the second. Mills, you've got to be kidding me. That's on the ground again.
If he does hold,
and it's misplayed by Crew, and Fisher will go 2, and that'll bring the 12th run across. There's no way. You've got to be kidding me. Fisher Mills, where did this come from? 6 months, and that's his second mercy of the game. He's leading 12-0. He's blown it open. He's blown it open in the wild card game. His last win was March 19th, and he's beating the hottest team in wiffle ball 12-0 here in the second inning. As we head into the bottom half, the lefties still looking to put their first run of the game across. Fisher Mills, where did you come from? That's on the ground to Reese, who bobbles it and can't quite make the play. So a leadoff runner on first for Crew and the lefties, as that brings up Hudson Tonoff for his second AB of the game. The 3-1 count to number 44. Low, ball 4. And so the lefties have something working here in the second. There's runners on first and second, no outs. And so now it's up to Emmett. That's on the ground. Past the chair. And everybody will be safe. The bases remain loaded. Or are loaded, excuse me. Emmett with his first hit of the game. And they've got the bases loaded here in the bottom of the second for Crew. Laced off the chair. It's off the chair, and everybody stays where they are. There's the first out here in the bottom of the second. An unlucky swing for Crew. And so 1 out, bases still loaded for Hudson now. And Hudson showing the emotion, a little frustrated to be in the position. As that's laced, past Woolwine, and that'll bring the first 2 runs across for the lefties. It is 2-12. They're only down by 10. Hudson Tonoff coming through for his squad. So it's up to Crew. Runners on second and third. That's on the ground to Fisher, who will peg him for the out. The run does score. 12-3. 2 outs for the lefties here in the second. So runner on third will bring up Emmett for his third AB of the day. That's popped high. Emmett will have it land, and Hudson will come across to score. Just barely fair. And it's 12-4 as the lefties scrape on another one. as we will review it. It was just on the line, but as of right now, that's another RBI, runner on first. After review, it does stand, so runner on first, 12-4 for the Lefties, with Hudson due up. The pitch. That's on the ground into no man's land, and there will be no play, but he throws anyway. And so runners on first and second with the base hit by Huddy. So Crew steps in. Popped up, Mills will make the play for the third out in the second. And so we head into the third inning. Lefties able to scrape on a few. A great play by Mills to end the inning. As we head into the third, Mills still leading by 8. The Lefties scrape on their first few of the game, but still look to be struggling out there as Fisher Mills has come out of nowhere and leads this game by 8 here in the top of the third with a chance to pad his lead further. So Mills continues to hit the ball as that's inside for ball 1. That's on the ground, and Mills will have another hit. Another hit, and the bases are loaded here in the third. You've got to be kidding me. Fisher Mills is seeing the ball well. It's 16-4, second and third, a double. Mercies as that's blown by him for strike 1. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Strike 2, and Hudson's feeling it.
Bases loaded.
Here it is, the pitch. That's on the ground. If it gets through, he does it, and Fisher Mills has 18 runs. What? Are you kidding me? Fisher Mills, absolute madness. And we head into the bottom of the third. Where did it come from? And it's down to the last 3 outs for the Lefties. It's either the Lefties have the biggest comeback in PWL history, or Fisher Mills continues and has the biggest upset in PWL history, as he hasn't played in 6 months and is now 3 outs away from going back to the Cutthroats' second ever WDCS. Oh my goodness. It's do or die for the Lefties as they're down to their last 3 outs of the season. And 3 outs, and the Cutthroats are going back to the WDCS. Who saw this coming? Fisher Mills, after not playing in forever, his last win was March 19th against the Cubnals on opening day, his first game of the season. And now he is 3 outs away from winning his first ever playoff game, as that's popped foul. He was swept with the Fishers the first year, and he was swept last year in the WDCS, and is now 3 outs away from winning not only his first playoff game, but his second game of the season. 0-1 to Huddy. The 3-1 pitch to Huddy. He'll be looking for something to hit. Ball 4, and there's a start for the Lefties. If they're going to do it, there's got to start somehow. Runner on first. They're down by 14 runs. The biggest deficit. That's popped to Mills. He makes the play, and he's got Hudson for the second out. He's got the second out. A double play in the third. The second play of the game like it, and it's probably over. That has to be the decisive blow for the Lefties. What just happened? That might be the dead blow. What a play! He gets the pop fly over the shoulder and then pegs Huddy for the second out. And 2 outs with nobody on gives the Lefties down to their last out. And I don't think they can come back 14 from this. The play of the game from Fisher Mills. You've got to be kidding me. Now it's down to Emmett. The 3-1 count to the fill-in, the pitch. Ball 4. And so a runner on first base, and we'll see how long the Lefties can hold this up. They're not dead yet, but 14 runs looks impossible with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. And now it's Hudson to keep it alive. As that's tapped on the ground, and he can't make the play. Everybody's safe. Inches from making the play, and there's runners on first and second as Hudson passes the torch to Crew. And now it's up to Crew to stay alive. Runners on first and second. Popped up! Nobody's there! Reese fields it! Emmett's going home and the throw is off, and that'll score a run. Chaos here in left, but a run scores as Reese stops it before the double, and it's 18-5 as the Lefties score one more. It's runners on first and second. Runners on first and second with Hudson Tonoff coming to bat with the RBI single. So it's down to Crew. 2 outs. 18-5 for the Lefties. Runners on first and second. Fouled back for strike 1. Crew had that big hit against the Cats, trying to keep it alive as long as he can, as that's high for ball 1. And I don't know how the Lefties come back from this. Fisher Mills has him swinging for strike 2. It's 1-2. And the Lefties are down to their last strike. You can feel it. The pitch. Outside, and we'll have another pitch. 2-2 to Crew Curra. Can he keep it alive for the Lefties? Fisher Mills with possibly the greatest comeback performance of all time here in the wild card game. Outside, and it'll be a full count pitch. Here it is. Crew Curra and the Lefties. It's over! Strike 3! And the Cutthroats are going back to the WDCS! They're going back! Fisher Mills! What? There's no way! There's no way! The greatest comeback performance by a single team as he gets doused on the mound! It'll be a Cutthroats Cats Division Series! There is no way! Fisher Mills has done the impossible! He's done the impossible! It's over! The Cutthroats are moving on!
It's over and the Cutthroats are going back!
Take one more.
It's over and the Cutthroats
That's why you have
It's
that.
over! Not a single person thought this was happening.
Good game, guys.
You've got to be, the Cutthroats are going back.
Hell yeah.
Wow. To their second, technically your third, Cutthroats second. Fisher Mills, how do you feel on the win?
Pretty good. I was not expecting that.
Not playing
After
for 5
minutes, after 5 months of not playing, that's wild.
Question is now, how do you feel about facing Keegan Nance in a 3-game set?
That's gonna be a hard one. He's a good opponent.
Goodness.
He's insane.
Wow. Coming back, that was crazy. That was absurd. Good win. Crazy win. And that does it for the wild card game of the West.